That's all we ask, is that you don't make excuses. If Patrick Mahomes make a bad throw, say Patrick Mahomes made a bad throw.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, he's human. Michael Jordan took some bad shots, didn't play well. It's right to say that that happened.
Right.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, it does not matter. They try to build it up more than what it is. The great Tom Brady criticizes Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to blow everything out of proportion, depending on what he says. They're going to be critical and dissect every little word that's said, and that's one of the reasons why I think he said what he said.
Shannon Sharpe goes off on Tom Brady for not criticizing Patrick Mahomes. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Tom Brady explained why he'll never criticize Patrick Mahomes during the broadcast. How can I throw shade at someone who is amazing as Mahomes is? I know he's been through, and I think the one position that I'm in now as the broadcaster, I do feel a responsibility to tell the fans what I see and be honest and upfront about everything, but also realize that these guys are doing on the field is extremely difficult. It's a high level of skill. You're looking at the 32 teams who have starting quarterbacks out there. This guy's one of the best in the world at what he does. So do they make the right plays all the time? Certainly not. But by the way, neither did I. And I think you have to have this context and perspective.
At least he keeping it real. A lot of people in media won't show their favoritism or at least won't admit to it. Shannon Sharpe, you're known for being the LeBron James glazer. Yeah, you may say things here and there, and if you catch some flack, you'll dial it back. You'll try to explain yourself, but you are a clutch sports plant, so you know you can only go so far with LeBron. But worst case scenario, let me blame AD at the time. Or if anything, let me blame Luka and his weight issues on why the Lakers didn't go far. So as much accountability as you may try to hold toward LeBron, in some instances, you don't really call him out that way. You always try to massage the issue, don't make it seem too big when you are criticizing LeBron. But for the most part, hey, Tom Brady, he keeping it real. The other players, they're going to get this criticism. Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to dial it back. Or I'm going to be gentle as far as, having to criticize at the same time, not really criticizing. So, hey, I don't blame Tom Brady. It is what it is. You got that in media. People got their favorites.
That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Is that you don't make excuses. If Patrick Mahomes make a bad throw, say Patrick Mahomes made a bad throw.
Yeah.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's human.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan took some bad shots, didn't play well. It's right to say that that happened.
Right.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, it does not matter.
But you said everybody except LeBron. My point exactly. He's going to try his best not to criticize LeBron only because of the relationship he has with Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, and LeBron himself. So, yeah, he threw out Jordan's name, but why not throw LeBron James in the mix? You know you're a LeBron James glazer. You got to be held accountable, too, the way that you criticize him. Again, keep glazing LeBron, but is he going to support you when you're going through a lot of controversy? You got to remember that.
If a guy doesn't play well, it's your obligation because you know what the casual fan at home doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's asking much for the guys that's calling the game. And I know it's hard because here's the thing. You can't be too critical when you're in that position because then they won't do production meeting with you.
Yeah, again, it's all political. It's all about, hey, I don't want to upset Patrick Mahomes or the main players within the NFL or the NBA. Only because, yeah, you want to have these production meetings. You want to keep the lines of communications open. But if you're Tom Brady, you did what you had to do at the highest level. You're a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, getting a lot of money from Fox. So at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. If Patrick Mahomes, if he F's up, plays bad, you don't got to disrespect him and call him trash. But you can keep it real. But at the same time, at least he's admitting to his favoritism.
So you have to walk a very fine line if you play by play or you do color, which Tom does color.
Right.
So you have to walk that like, yeah, that was a bad throw. That's not like Patrick Mahomes. Right. You got to, you know what I'm saying, Ocho? You got to couch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what he saw on that one. That's not like Patrick. A guy that's played as won as many Super Bowls as he has and MVPs. That's not like him. So give the defense credit on that. You know, you got to,
Yeah, pretty much the same thing you do with LeBron. So Shannon Sharpe, he's really giving the formula out as far as dealing with the best players in their individual sports, especially if you have a relationship with them. LeBron, Shannon, they're like best buddies, or at least in the media space. Who knows how they are behind the scenes, but as long as he has that allegiance to clutch sports, Rich Paul, he's always going to not keep it as real as he should with LeBron, and he's basically telling Tom Brady to do the same. Like, yeah, you want to criticize him to a certain standpoint, but make it as easy as possible without totally going off on him, only because you want to keep that relationship alive. Shannon Sharpe, he's been doing it for the last 8 or 9 years with LeBron James.
But I'll still take a Patrick Mahomes. That's how you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's all about wordplay and sentence structure. That's all it is. And he's not going to have to say much often, because players like Patrick Mahomes, your Tom Brady's, your Peyton Mannings, they are much more consistent as opposed to being bad.
That's how they get to become where they are, because we look. But see, that's the thing, though, Ocho. And so, because they're not criticized that much, they should be okay.
Bingo.
Like if you play 7 good games, you have 1 bad game, and say, well, he didn't play well today. I mean, he's played up until this point. I had him as the MVP.
Right.
Well, he don't play well. We ought to say that, he didn't play well today.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
But guys are so sensitive now. If you say that they play well, Ocho, you hate.
Yeah, that's a good thing with Patrick Mahomes and these other main players within the NFL, or in general. They're not going to have consecutive bad games, so you're not going to have to continually criticize them like you would the C+ and B+ level players. Someone like a Patrick Mahomes, he's not going to make too much of the same mistakes throughout the season, so that's the good thing with Tom Brady. Yeah, you can keep it real to a certain standpoint. Yeah, you can have your moments where you be like, damn, he really keeping that same energy with Patrick Mahomes, but it won't carry over from week to week. But again, man, players are sensitive, and that's why Shannon Sharpe continues to glaze LeBron James.
It's tough. It's tough. And then obviously the blowback, the blowback, because it's Tom Brady criticizing Patrick Mahomes, I can see it from that lens.
They try to build it up more than what it is. The great Tom Brady criticizes Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to blow everything out of proportion, depending on what he says. They're going to be critical and dissect every little word that's said, and that's one of the reasons why I think he said what he said.
Yeah, of course they're going to magnify it, only because the great Tom Brady criticizes the great Patrick Mahomes, the soon-to-be legend, top 5 quarterback of all time. So, of course, if Tom Brady says anything extra about Patrick Mahomes, it's going to make frontline news. So, again, this is why Shannon Sharpe, he continues to not keep the same energy with LeBron, because everything that's going on with him personally and just who he is in media, they're going to try to magnify everything that he would say against LeBron. When he had some critical comments before, he dialed him back. He didn't really keep that same energy. He kind of let it go only because he misstepped and was too critical of LeBron James. So if you're Tom Brady, put it out there. Hey, I ain't really going to criticize him like that. Yeah, I may say a thing or two here and there, but it's not going to be on frontline news. He's just going to not keep that same energy. And again, shout out to him for admitting it. A lot of people won't say it. They'll usually say it with their actions, but at least Tom Brady, he's letting it be known like, hey, Patrick Mahomes is the homie, is the bro, and I ain't going to keep that energy with him.
And I think that's why, for me, Ocho, I had to be careful, because every time they ask me, you think such and such should be in the Hall of Fame? Well, I ain't got to vote.
Right.
Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe doesn't think such and such should be. Bro, you vote. Y'all, whatever y'all decide. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't, there are a few guys that's in the hall that actually have votes, but for the most part, the majority of us don't have a vote.
Right.
So I don't. What do you think about this guy? What you mean? I didn't play against him.
Right.
Like I said, I thought I knew what a Hall of Famer was until I saw some guys that started not getting in. It took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get in. I was like, I have no idea what a Hall of Famer is.
So essentially, he'll admit to, not keeping that same energy with the NFL. But when it comes to LeBron, he's not going to say like, hey, that's my homie and I'll never criticize him. I'll never try to make it seem that certain way. So essentially, if you know somebody, you're not really going to criticize them. That's pretty much what Shannon Sharpe is saying right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So
real,
I stopped trying to figure it out. Knock on wood, I was very fortunate to get in on my 3rd attempt. My brother got in this year, so we're the first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah. Whatever happens after that, hey, it is what it is. I get the offer. I'm not offering no more commentary.
Hey,
yeah,
that's what it is.
That's why I inducted myself.
And so, But the thing is that I think for us, what we do.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, so how can I? You out there, you stink up the joint. You run a sloppy route. You let the guy undercut it and pick it off, and I'm supposed to say what?
Hey, it is
you
what
don't
it
go
is.
through your progression. You stared. You made your mind up when you left the huddle. You made your mind up where you was gonna go with this football. You stare the guy down. He picks it off. What am I supposed to say?
Right.
Not a
You
damn
got to.
thing.
I'm gonna make a PSA before the season starts, huh?
If you're a DB, Ocho, and your eyes, you watching you watching the quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, you beat.
The guy that you covering. What you doing with him? What am I supposed to say?
You don't say anything. If they're your homie, if you got a rapport with them, or they have a powerful media presence, you kind of just brush it off. Say little things here and there, but massage the issue. Basically, look, hey, he could do better than that, but, maybe the defense stepped it up this game and vice versa, however you want to play it. But if there's relationships there, if the person's powerful like a Patrick Mahomes or a LeBron James, if you're Tom Brady, hey, you're going to be like, you know what? He can do better. He'll do better. I believe in him. And same thing you do with LeBron. So that's the blueprint in mainstream media or media in general. You got relationships. You got friendships. You know the person. They're powerful. You kind of brush over whatever's going on. If they're having a bad game, hey, just be like, hey, he's a GOAT. He's a legend. He'll figure it out. And it is what it is. So that's the blueprint with the media.